What's going on, y'all? So listen. Girl, what's going on? First of all, happy 15 days after the Juneteenth, okay? Or whatever that BS. Do you know somebody had the nerve to say, Happy Independence Day? I said, what? And he was a black man. I said, okay. Yeah, I'm one of those, okay? I'm one of those. But anyway, y'all here. Now, let me tell you something. Honestly, I had forgot that the 4th was coming up. No shade. I was at work yesterday, which was on the 3rd, and I didn't even realize that it was the 3rd. Okay, I'm so far removed from just about everything this week or whatever. My coworker was like, "So you going down there to the pier to see the fireworks?" No, she said, "You going to go see the fireworks?" I said, "What?" I said, "What you mean? The pier or something?" And he's like, "Yeah, going down there to Navy Pier." So I said, "Oh shit, it is the 4th of July tomorrow." Now, granted, I was waiting for the fireworks to happen last night. Last night, early morning. Yesterday, early this morning. We didn't really get that many, so I was just really confused. I was like, "Oh, ain't nobody celebrating that? Okay, cool." But they, as you can hear them now, they're doing them. So if you hear some stuff, that's just what it is in the background. But let's just get into this episode of The Chi. Let me tell you something. Season 7, episode 8. I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm taking some medication because, girl, it's just been a lot. Anyway, congested and all that stuff. But don't worry, your girl is good. Let me just get up into this the Chi situation, okay? First of all, we are 8 episodes into the season, and this episode was called "A Bet Is a Bet," which, understandable. I get it, okay? I get it. Do I like the way that they are going? Like, see, I'm trying to have grace because I want to stay in this to win this, because first of all, this is a show that is after my city, all right? And at this point in time, especially after the stuff that happened actually last night or a couple of nights ago or whatever, with the mass shooting that happened and everything, and the people that passed and all of that stuff, and it's just really sad. It's just really sad because we haven't had anything like that happen in a long time here that I can remember. In recent years, everything has, everybody still got their mess, but it ain't been that bad, okay? And so for that to happen, the city just been going through some things. Then we get this TV show, and it was once a good TV show, and I'm trying to hang in on it because, listen, it's my city. Like, I can tell you where those different spots where they filmed at, where this is at, where that's at. I know where all these places are at. And I'm just trying to hang in there, but I have to be real with myself. I'm going to hang in there just because, okay? I'm going to be here till the wheels fall off. But I got to keep it real. The show is not the way that a lot of us probably thought it would end up going. And it's really, really kind of like it lost the plot. And I know a lot of people want to say it lost the plot and things kind of went downhill when Brandon left, but y'all got to understand the reason why he left. And I don't like the narrative that's going around to make it seem like he just left for no reason, or Lena and them just kicks him off for no reason. The man had a sexual harassment complaint and allegations against him, okay? And one of the co-workers that was on there felt uncomfortable, so you had to take that in consideration. They had to move, okay? Because if not, she could have came out and she could have sued them and then had the whole show shut down. So the lesser of two evils in that was to fire him, and whether it's true or not, that's just what really had to happen. Then you had some allegations of some work discrimination and hostile workforces or some shit like that was going on with the girl who was once Victor's other girlfriend before he got with Fatima, which I found crazy given that, trans, LGBT, all of that is all up in there. What is y'all doing? Lena gay as hell, so what is happening? You know what I'm saying? And she wanted to speak her situation so bad, and I remember all of that, and it was just really crazy. And then so there was still a way to, go about this to make the show really, really still good. And it was for a minute, and I feel like what really kind of messed it up, even though we really wanted this to happen, did I want it to happen this soon? I really thought that the show would have ended with Duda dying. I feel like if they're gonna get another character or another season or whatever, maybe they killed him off a little bit too soon. I know he was doing a lot. But he was the best villain on here. We have to admit that Duda really was the best villain. He really was, okay? Because all of these other villains that's happening right now, they're a little weak to me, you know? They're a little weak to me. He had a little pizzazz to him, you know? He did. And so, and he was really nice to look at. You know, it is what it is. It is what it is. But what is bothering me now, because we know that, you know, as you go along your storyline to a show or to whatever situation that you're in, it's supposed to evolve, right? And I can see that they're trying to evolve, but in the same sense, it's like you're trying to throw lessons in there, heavy on the nose with a lot of things. Like this episode, we're talking about, you know, the reason why people don't like it when black men or black people in general get with a white person, and it's specifically in this case, black men leaving their black family to go get with a white woman. All right. But what bothered me, and I've been seeing it, and I have not really said much about it, but this episode, it was just a little bit too much. Okay. And maybe I'm just, you know, reaching or whatever and just, you know, trying to be I'm doing a little bit much, but it was just too much with the cameos and too many new characters for what? And it's people, and it's not by people that are new people. It's people that we already know. We had Karuchi pop up. We had Wendy Raquel Robinson pop up. We had Felicia Rashad pop up. We had Miss Lady who was in the dean's office talking to Kadeem from a different world. Him. And old girl, I don't know her name, never knew her name, but she is out there in the black acting world. I said, oh my God, that's like 4 or 5 people that then popped up. Okay, like, damn, all up in one episode? In one episode, and towards the end of the season, why are we doing all of this? And let's just, that's what was throwing me off. Also, let me just talk about this whole situation with Papa. I don't like the character no more. Papa has no personality. He is a character that is taking on the personality of other people. Okay, he is taking on the personality of Pastor Ezekiel, and it's just really disheartening to see because he had a lot of potential. And at one point, Papa character used to be like the comic relief. His character has been so muted and just put there just to be put there. And I want somebody to tailor his suits, okay? Tailor his suits. Take it to the men's warehouse and get that shit tailored, because he can look real good instead of having them sloppy ass suits on. Just because he a little chunky munch don't mean that you gotta put them things on here and make him look extra big like that. I did not like that. I said, now Lena, you had this boy on this goddamn show this whole time since season fucking 1, and y'all mean tell me y'all couldn't tailor his suit a little bit? I get that could be his little personal style, but take it in just a little bit, okay? Got him looking all sloppy and shit. That shit kind of bothered me. Girl, that ain't even what I really want to say, but I think that suit on here this episode, I said, bitch, what? Now, Papa, what the hell is going on? But let's just get into it. And why the fuck? Now, I know I said, you know, maybe this gonna make the season good again. Ooh, I hate the way that sounded. It sounded too close to, ooh, that man has ruined that fucking phrase. Oh, make something good again. I cannot. But I thought it was going to be okay having Ridge back on, but this motherfucker gotta go. Everybody is getting hurt except for him. And I don't want him to get locked up. I want him in the ground. Okay, that's just what I want. I don't want the easy way out. Well, technically, some people can be like, oh, well, just going ahead and killing him off. That's going to be the easy way instead of letting him suffer behind bars. Well, bitch, I don't give a shit. Okay, because he's caused too much damage. He ain't been back for like 4 weeks, and this man has caused so much mess. All right, girl, let's just get into it. I know y'all like, Ashley, shut the fuck up. Come on, let's get into the video. Okay, cool. So, why they trying to kill off Jada? Oh God. That was once a time I remember back. It was like probably a couple of seasons or so, maybe 2 or 3 seasons ago, before Jada and Darnell got back together. That, you know, I got real upset. Like, the peoples was really, really upset because I ain't like the way Jada was moving, and then you did all of that just to get back with Darnell. After all that shit that man did and put you through, all them kids that he went and had outside of you because he couldn't get his stuff together, and all them different women and whatever, and then he left you to raise a kid by yourself, only to come back years later after the kid is all grown and stuff to want to act right and to be your baby. Girl, listen, that shit made me mad. It made me heated, okay? Girl, Jada, I ain't looked at you the same ever since, but, you know, I'm so sorry what's going on with her, and I hate the fact that they doing this, okay? Mama, is this the end of your contract, Miss Jada? I was about to call her Jada Waiter, but, girl, we not finna do that. Is this the end of her contract or something? Did she say, listen, girl, I give you 1 season less, and after this, I gotta get the fuck, okay? Because the way that they all doom and glooming her, and it seems like ever since they said that she got the cancer in her pancreas, Mama looked like she's literally about to cross over to death door. Like the door is opening. It's cracked a little bit and she damn near there. I said, damn, did they just age Mama? They aged her. They aged her a lot. I said, damn. Now I knew she had a little gray hairs or whatever, but shit, bitch, that much? She just looks so sad. Okay, she just looks so helpless. And I was just like, God damn, why they have to do this to my girl? Well, you know, she my girl now. She my girl now. We coming back. You know, sometimes we spin a block. Okay, I can forgive sometimes. Because she been happy and Darnell has been on his P's and Q's. So there's that. You know, sometimes it works out, sometimes it don't. I don't believe in the spin a block shit, but there's that. But, yeah, you know, because I've been burnt in the past. It is what it is. And so, Darnell want to tell the kids. Well, no. Jada want to tell, Emmett and Keisha. Darnell don't want to tell them just yet. And I feel like that's a bad thing. You need to go ahead and tell them what was going on. Because Darnell wound up telling Damien what was going on. All because Damien asked, let me tell you something. And this is another thing. It's too many characters on here that got storylines that we don't care about, okay? And truth be told, we put too much focus on Damien this episode, all right? We put too much focus on Damien this episode, and I honestly thought something was going to truly happen to Damien and wind up being a red herring, misdirect, and it happened to somebody else that we actually gave a damn about. I said, oh my goodness, Damien, you got to get your ass off of here too, okay? I don't see your purpose. You came in too, and you're causing chaos, okay? You know, so they're going to basically Gamblers Anonymous, right? And I was with Darnell when he was trying to give him the little pep talk. Go up in there, do what you got to do, talk to these people, get your life straight. And Darnell got out that car and said, I'm going to go in here with you too because, bitch, I don't trust you. All right? And that's just how we needed to be because Damien probably wouldn't have went. He wouldn't have went. And in the process of him going to his meeting, and he winds up seeing Carucci. Carucci is another person that's up in there. And they wind up hooking up in the bathroom. I said, girl, what? He was pumping like a jackrabbit. I said, slow down a little bit. Damn. I mean, I know a quickie, but shit, you are a micro quickie. What's going on? He was saying, I said, damn. And it was like, what you up here? She said, you know, I bet how long it'll take to get somebody to fuck me. I said, Karuch, what is going on? That is so crazy. That is, I said, really? All right. So he come out the bathroom for playing with her. Darnell sees this other group that's for grieving partners. And who was like the head of the group is Wendy Raquel Robinson. And she was talking about Tasha Mack, okay, for those that don't know. Piggy from Steve Harvey. You know, damn, I just took it back. Ringmaster, okay? Two can play that game. All right, listen, I love me some Wendy Raquel, but girl, I don't want you on the show. It's just because I really feel like the only reason why I'm saying it because I don't know, this scene, granted that it was very, very, I get it, you know, he's going through the motions. It's almost as if he's accepting the fact that he knows now that his wife is not going to be here much longer, right? And so you see this sign. You go in, you hear this woman talking about her husband passing and all this stuff or whatever. Then they have a conversation, and it's like they're connecting. They're connecting because, you know, she was like, well, if you ain't got nobody to dad, what are you up in here for? He said, well, my wife is, you know, she's on the verge, okay? And so as they're talking, it's like, are y'all trying to set us up for the fact that once Jada dies, or if she doesn't die or whatever, gets sick throughout this process, Darnell is going to be talking to this woman to get comfort throughout the process or after the process, and this is who he gonna link up with afterwards? This trauma bonding ass shit. I said, damn, Jada ain't even dead yet, and y'all already trying to make those type of connections? Oh, wow. Like, calm it down. It just looked that way. And, of course, Damien wanted to understand. He showed up and was like, why you up in this grieving partners thing or whatever? And then that's when he wound up telling them. You know, it was like a whole bunch of shit that was going on, and he wound up saying that Jada is dying. Now, see, this is what pissed me off because of what Damien did. You going through all of this stuff, right? You going through all of this stuff. You already done got in trouble owing people money because of your gambling habits, right? You stole from your brother's business, okay? And your brother is giving you a second chance to show and prove, to gain his trust back, allowing you to stay in his home because your mama kicked you out. Right? And then you go over there and associate yourself with Reg and Brenda's cousin. Now, Brenda's cousin, that's okay? Which I'm looking at him a little sideways, like, how the hell are you friends with Reg, okay? And it seems like Reg kind of respects him because Reg don't talk to that nigga crazy like he talks to everybody else, okay? And so, y'all over there betting. You know, going over the sports stuff with MJ, Michael Jordan stats and stuff like that. And then because he was getting everything right, Reg hit him up with some, I bet you this or whatever. Damien was trying to be like, no, I don't want to bet. And he was like, you know, of course, as an addict, you want to say that you're not going to do something, but it just take a little nudging. And you're like, okay, fuck it, we can do it. And he was like, I bet you 5 racks you can't get this question. How many rebounds, how many steals, how many, you know, girl, I don't know all that shit, okay? That's just what it was. And for the most part, he got it right. And he thought that he had it correcting all that stuff. He said 2 steals and or 2 rebounds or something like that, or 2 steals, whatever the fuck. And Reg was like, almost. It was actually 3. He was like, damn. So he owed him $5,000. And he was like, well, when do you want it? He said, I want it tomorrow night. And he was like, well, damn, nigga, you can't just let me give it to you in a week? And he was like, absolutely not. And he was like, well, if I can't get it, what happened? And it's like, well, if you can't give me that $5,000 by tomorrow, I'm going to beat your ass. And I would have just said, just be my ass right now. I just said, well, let me just tell you this, because it just ain't going to happen, Captain. And, yeah, you might as well just go ahead and put a foot in my chest right now, okay? Because it's not going to happen. And then let me go in the hospital and give me time to recuperate, because it's not going to happen, you know? And so he's going around asking everybody for money, all right? He didn't ask Dom for money. And I said, Dom, of all people? She wound up giving him $1,000. He wound up asking Bakari for money. He wound up giving him $1,000. Then he didn't want to ask Jada because Jada is sick, but then you still go over there and ask Jada. And then the way that he comes into the room, he came into her room and it's all sulky and sully and all sad and mopey and everything. And I said, now, is this a ploy to make her feel sorry for you to go ahead and give you the money? Or do you really just feel bad about her being sick and you got to ask this lady for money? Because truth be told, I don't give a good goddamn. I understand that Jada is dying, but at the same time, that ain't your mama. She did you the courtesy of letting you in her house and letting you in her life or whatever. But at the same time, have some fucking respect, because I will fucking never. Any family member of mine that is passing away or going through a hard time, that's sick, whatever, I will never have the gall or the audacity to ask them for some money to clear off a fucking gambling debt or any type of debt that I done got myself into. And they going through what they going through. Mind you, she could have used that money to be put on her funeral. She could have been using that money to, save for her actual son. Okay? For some probably medication just to get her through until she passed, to ease the pain or whatever. And you come up in there asking her for money, and she winds up, out the generosity of her heart, just go ahead and give it to you, and then you hug on her. I ain't like the way that he just left after he hugged her a little bit when she finally grabbed his arm to kind of embrace it or whatever. Bitch, you could have stayed a little bit longer, okay, since she gave you $2,000. So he was still $4,000, well, $1,000 short. This will wind up happening. This where I almost just jumped off, okay? Mind you, we got Tiffany and Victor, right? I'm put a pause on that. Tiffany and Victor. Victor was up there getting some alcohol or whatever from the bar at the little lounge, the little smokers lounge, right? Tiffany came up in there like, oh, what you doing? He was like, oh, I'm just trying to get some stuff for my homie BJ. It's like, BJ, the Chicago kid, you know him? Yeah, I mean, we know each other from back in the day or whatever, so I'm just going down there to see what's up and all that stuff. And I was like, well, why you ain't ask me if I wanted to come? Well, do you want to come? Yeah, let me get my purse or whatever. Girl, I really thought that once they got down to the lounge and BJ got up there singing and all that stuff, because y'all do know that Luke James and BJ got a song together. Go, girl. That is my shit. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Okay? Luke James, bitch. Let's get out of character. I need you to come back. I need you to be working on the album. Like, R&B really... R&B is so really needs your voice right now. Like, it's been needing your voice. I need another album. I need something because I'm just tired. Like, you can't wet the palate and tease when you get up there at the BET Awards and do that little tribute and do that little, what was the Secret Garden, and you hit all them goddamn notes and shit, and then you up here on the TV with BJ the Chicago kid, and you not gonna get up on the stage. I thought it was gonna be one of those type of situations. Yo, my buddy up in the audience, we used to do some things back in the day. Why don't you come up here and join us and get them a little taste? Girl, absolutely not. I said, all right. And then he all behind Tiffany. He wound up touching her arm or whatever. Tiffany turned around like, the fuck? But do it again. And, they was just hugged up a little bit, back to front. And I was like, So when he went to go drop her off, she opened up the door, let him come in. They did have a little kissy kiss. It was a little innocent, one too much, one too nuts. You know what I'm saying? It was just the right amount for a situation where we're trying to figure out what it is. We ain't get no tongue. We ain't get no, grabbing of the lips or nothing. It didn't get love anally. It didn't get nasty. But Miss Alicia was up there. Miss Alicia was up there just looking. I thought she was finna come down there and bust that shit up. I was like, well, hold on, Miss Girlie. You did say if she got with somebody, you'll be okay. She got with Victor. Now let it happen, okay? So Victor was over there talking to Rashad. Rashad, he got kicked out of Alicia's house. Well, basically, they ain't together, so therefore he can't stay there. I mean, he her protector, but he can't stay there, okay? So now he finna be staying over there at Victor's house. And he wound up telling him about the whole situation with Tiffany. And was like, well, you need to talk to Emmett. And I'm sitting here like, talk to Emmett about what? And even Victor said that shit too. Like, talk to Emmett about what? Well, that was his wife. I said, no, that was the mother of his child. I don't believe that they were ever in a real relationship that we actually saw. They had their issues where they probably did think or try to get into a relationship, but we never really truly saw that. But that was so long ago. And that's what Victor was saying. That was so long ago. Man, I didn't even think about that or whatever. But out of respect and bro code, I get it. But at the same time, I hate shit like that. In a sense, in this situation, I get it because they're friends. They're friends. So, yeah, it would be respect and be like, yo, bro, I'm about to fuck around with your baby mom. I don't want you to be, you know what I'm saying? And so on that, I get. But if it was anybody else, I would be like, oh, he ain't got to tell him that, okay? But at the same time, I just wouldn't understand why would you feel some type of way that Victor is about to get with your girl or your baby mother when your baby mama has went on ahead and has another man's baby. You're having kids with another woman who is actually your baby mama's friend, okay? Her bestie at this point. And so, like, she don't feel no way about y'all being together. She don't feel no way about you getting her pregnant. Why are you acting like you are okay with Victor and her getting together or possibly getting together? But yet, you, and he had alcohol in the system as well, but we can clearly see that he has a problem with it. And at this point, it all goes back to what I was saying when the first episode came on. When she kissed him, or when they kissed each other on the lips or whatever, in the way that he had been looking. And the questioning that he has been having about his relationship. I don't know if he truly wants to be with Keisha or not. I don't, because it's just like as soon as Rob was out the picture, all of a sudden now these issues, these feelings or whatever, allegedly are supposed to be coming up, and you feeling some way that you want to get back with Tiffany or could possibly want to get with Tiffany again. Like, it's just really something to make you think. Was Keisha just a placeholder? You play a house with Keisha because you couldn't get with Tiffany because Tiffany was with Rob, and you thought Tiffany was going to always be available and you can come back and do whatever it is that you want with her? I don't want you to mess this stuff up. And if Emmett is going to do what he going to, please do not fuck it up. Please, okay? Well, we're going to hope you here next season. Bitch, because that's a lot, all right? And so it's just like, what the hell? Meanwhile, you got, like I said, Bakari's professor got called into the dean, and he was talking about the fact that Alicia and his wife got him the scholarship or whatever to be able to come to the school. And she was like, if you're going to do some favors and get somebody to get up in the school, make sure there's somebody that's worth it, okay? And who actually going to put in the work, and the grades are going to be there and all that stuff, because his grades ain't good. And so basically he got to convince them that everything is good and everything's going to be all right. Moving on from that, they had a little sister circle with what's his name, or not what's his name, because I was thinking about Pastor Ezekiel and his family, but no, not not them, but the sister circle with Dom and Tracy and Keisha. Again, why is Tracy still here? Why is Dom and her man here? Don't understand it, okay? What I got out of that, Keisha tired as hell from all them goddamn kids and doing all of the shit. But Tracy, you know, she okay with listening and all that stuff, even though she lost the kid. And then Dom came to the conclusion, well, she ain't come to the conclusion. She already said this a long time ago. She said, bitch, I don't want no kids. I mean, people be making it seem like the kids, that this is the choice that they have to make. But now that we realize that we really ain't got no choice, like, we can make whatever we want. It ain't a mandatory thing that we need to have kids and all this stuff. And bitch, I don't want to have kids. And then Jamal gonna come out the hospital talk about something. After the shit that went down, it's making me think about my legacy. When you motherfuckers talk about legacy. Legacy this, legacy that. Girl, he wanted to have kids. Well, Dom said, well, bitch, I don't want to have kids. I never wanted to have kids. Now, this ain't something that we talked about. No, it ain't. And see, this is what we're talking about. Y'all literally got married because y'all wanted to have sex. Because he a little born-again Christian and all that stuff. And he want to go by the book. It ain't about love. And I don't think they in love with each other. I think it's just more so they love each other to a certain extent. They infatuated with each other. And now you in love with the fact that he can hit that spot. That's just really what it is, okay? But at the end of the day, you know absolutely nothing about that man. That man don't know nothing about you. I truly feel before you get deep into a relationship, before you get marriage even become a topic of discussion, you need to talk about whether or not you want to live this way. Do you want to, have kids or not? Do you even want to get married or not? Those are them two, especially marriage and kids. That is what you talk about when you get in a relationship. Before you get too goddamn deep, you talk about that on the fucking offset, okay? That's just what it was. Now y'all are married and you looking at this lady crazy because she said, bitch, I don't want no kids. And truth be told, I do like the straightforwardness that she has, okay? Dom is not cutting back or, holding her tongue or biting or whatever. She just like, I don't want to have kids, okay? I never wanted to have kids and I still don't want to have kids. Yeah, you the man that I feel like is for me, but no, boo-boo, I don't want to have kids with you. I don't want to have kids with anybody. Fuck all that. I want my time to be my time. I want to be able to get the fuck up and go anywhere I want to, whenever I want to, without having to strap a baby to my back or find a babysitter, And I said, I feel you, girl. I babysit, but baby, they going back home. Not to my house, but to their mama's house, okay? That's just really what it is. Meanwhile, you got that going on. Then you got Detective Toussaint meeting up with Nuck and trying to get him basically to be a little informant and help her get rich. Okay. Because if she gets rich and he gets locked up, her son is going to get out of jail. He goes and he talks to Pastor Ezekiel about the whole situation. Girl, I'm just sitting here like, do you really trust this man enough to just be telling him about all this stuff? Like, you're telling him who you killed. You're telling him that you considering working with the cops. Like, what? And he eventually go ahead and tell her that he gonna do it. I said, oh, Nuck. They're gonna call you a fucking rat, bitch, okay? Meanwhile, speaking of Pastor Ezekiel, Kenya comes back, his daughter, right in the midst of him practicing his sermon. She comes in with her son or whatever, and basically, like, she couldn't live down there with her grandmama no more. She was a little bit too strict. Plus, she up here with her mama, and then her mama's mama, Grandma Renee, she living in the house with them too. You know, why don't you come down and say what's up to him and all that stuff. She go in there and talk to Papa, and it's just like the life force. And I don't know if they doing this to his character for real on purpose, because it's trying to show that he kind of lost his way or lost who he really thought he was, and he don't know where he's going. And so because his father died, and so it's like, let me try to emulate Pastor Ezekiel, because I don't know which way to go. And he just seems so mechanical, you know what I'm saying? He is devoid of real feelings, real emotions, real personality. And I just don't like it. Like when he did that podcast episode about talking about the white people and black people relations and all that stuff. When he opened up the podcast, he was like, I see that some of y'all, y'all don't want to give whatever, but the Bible says this. And again, Papa ain't never been about taking money. Remember when he first started his thing, it wasn't about, a money thing. But when he started being around Pastor Ezekiel, and his prosperity gospel that he always teaching, then that's when he started talking about the money thing. And it's like, this is not right. This is what your father preached. You saw how your father was, and you see how he is, and you feel like this is the better example of the two? What? Like, I don't like what they're doing to his character. They go over there to see the mom, and, Pastor Ezekiel getting into it with her a little bit. We couldn't have found out, baby, he left or whatever because the mama cheated on him first. I said, what? And it was like, well, bitch, you went and got with this other chick that, wound up, and it was the grandma that said this, wound up being into the little boys and stuff. Yeah, I seen the little shit on the internet or whatever, the World Wide Web. I said, goddamn, older people in technology, it will always be so funny to me. Okay. But yeah, grandma had the tea and grandma was up in the know. And she felt some type of way because also we did find out that, that when Deacon Charles said, listen, the people in your congregation are not going to be here for the fact that you are with a white woman. Okay. Soon as that picture came out, a lot of them had stopped coming. That's what we found out. A lot of them stopped coming. Okay. Now, granted, should it be that way? No. But do I understand? Yes. Okay. Then we get this whole history lesson about why you shouldn't be with a black man shouldn't be with a white woman and all this stuff. And the grandma feels some type of way because her husband left her for a white woman and all this shit. That's what you're trying to hang it on. But also, it's like, we got clear examples, and I'm surprised they went there. They got clear examples of how it is being with a white woman, and how when shit goes down, y'all gonna end up being the first one hurt. And that shit go, bitch, we done seen too many cases where that white woman didn't cause that black man to get killed, or some other shit didn't happen or whatever, and they done got away with it. Too many cases, okay? And then come to find out the black men in the situation are, self-hating black men. So it ain't necessarily all black people that get with another person of another race that hate each other, that hate themselves. No, if you truly feel like you're supposed to be with this person because y'all fell in love, that's fine. But the problem that we have is that we have some people that for some reason they get a lot of recognition. It's the ones that get with someone outside of their race, and then they start to hate and look down on their race, you know? And I don't like those. And we see that happening all the time. And so, you know, they had that little conversation. I was like, was that really needed? Honestly, no. But at the end of the episode, Damien goes over there to Reg's place, or I should say, well, formerly Jacob's place, but now Reg's place, gives him the money that he has, right? It's only $4,000, okay? He's $1,000 short. Reg winds up beating his ass, all right? And truth be told, he didn't even beat his ass that bad as he could have had Brenda's cousin not been there to stop him. Okay, yeah, he stumped him out a little bit, stumped him out in the face. His face was fucked up a little bit, all that little blood or whatever. Probably had a little terminal injuries or something. He'll be all right. You know, put a little ice pack on it, you'll be fine. Take a couple of Tylenols, get the inflammation down, get a little ibuprofen. Okay, get a little ibuprofen, you'll be all right. So he had that. Damien comes into the house after Emmy just went on ahead and told Keisha, baby, you ain't got to do all this other stuff. Let me clean up and I'll do that. You go ahead and you lay down. He actually cleaned the shit up. Okay, put the kids to bed, cleaned up and everything. He laying on the couch, just chilling. Bitch, Damien come up in the door with his face all, you know, he was like, what happened to you? What happened to you? Keisha, come here. I said, now, I want to woke Keisha up, okay? Keisha don't need to be involved with all of this, all right? She got a baby. She got a baby in the bun, all right? Like, no, she don't need to stress. And it just felt like when Damien said, because Amy was like, who did this to you? He was like, Reg. And it sounded like, well, old baby boy was like, I got jumped by them little niggas. I'm sorry, that shit makes me laugh every time. But they, Amy was like, Reg, I thought the nigga was dead. Well, no, he's alive, okay? And he did this shit. Bitch. Keisha came down there like, oh my God, what happened? And now Emmy want to be tough guy and his brother's keeper on Reginald Taylor, this psycho, okay? He said, I'm gonna go take care of this. Keisha was like, no, baby, what you doing? Don't do that. He was like, man, I gotta go take care of this, okay? You ain't gonna put your hands on my motherfucking brother. Take care of him. The bitch, he went over there banging on the door. I had to give it to Emmy, though. Emmy said, bitch, you ain't finna scare me, okay? You may scare all these other motherfuckers. They may be scared to say something and do something and stand up to your ass, but I'm gonna stand up to you. And for that, you know, he get a point for me. But then I said, baby, do you really think that this is smart? I know we are driving and we're doing all of this off emotions and everything, and I just need us to calm down. Because at the end of the day, had that not happened, had your brother not been over there gambling, okay, that's just really what it is, you know? And so at this point, we hear bang, 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 bang on the door. Red's like, who the fuck? Who is it? Ain't nobody answering or whatever. So he get the gun and he tuck it in his back. And he opens up the door and he could barely get that door open before Emmett bum rush that shit and start beating his ass. You fucking beat up my brother. You touched my brother. He owed me motherfucking money. I don't give a fuck. Bam, 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 bam. And I mean, Emmett was getting Reg's ass. I said, shit, Emmett. Come on, Emmett. Hit him again, Emmett. Reg couldn't take that shit. Because Emmett was on top of his ass, fucking his ass up. What Reg do? Reg reached back in his back and took that gun out, and we heard pop. And even Reg was like, God damn. I don't think he really wanted to do that either. He really didn't want to do that to Emmett, or he just can't take the fact that he done shot somebody in his own place. One of the two, and I feel like it's the first, because I never seen him have the look of regret on his face. You know what I'm saying? And he did when he looked down and the camera panned down. Emmett got shot right here in the chest. In the chesticle. That lung is gone. I said, oh my God, you just see him. And just blood just coming out the back. So that shit was a through and fucking through. Oh my God. And people saying that he gonna be in season 8. But, oh my God. Jamal just got out of the fucking hospital. bitch, because of the safety. They got matching rooms. Okay? Jamal got shot in the chest, bitch. Emmett got shot in the chest. What is with the chesticles? Oh my God. He has a fucking family. Okay? Maybe he was a little stupid and run off emotion because you weren't thinking about the fact that you going over there to this psychotic nigga house, okay, who ain't got nobody that he really need. He ain't got no purpose in life, so he don't give a fuck, you know. And you do this, but you know what? I can't be 100% mad at him because a lot of people probably would have did the same thing. You're trying to take it for your family, you know. How would you feel? Okay. And then especially when you live in a culture where you don't call the cops or whatever, you take shit in your own hands, you know, you deal with it that way. But also, Damien, your ass needs to get the fuck up off this show. Something needs to happen to your ass too, okay? Fuck a little beat down and a couple of broken, loose teeth or whatever. Your lip a little busted. Baby, Emmett got a bullet in him because of your gambling ass. Baby, ever since Damien came into the show, it's just been chaos. Chaos in the Eminem family house. Like, what the hell? Oh, God, it's just a lot. But anyway, that was the episode, you guys. You guys tell me how you feel. I hope you guys enjoyed your day off. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. And I gotta go to work tomorrow. Ain't that a bitch? But I only gotta go to work tomorrow, so at least I got Sunday off. What's that to it? But you guys enjoy yourself, and I will see you guys later. Peace.